Chale, uti we wa wasuma chese no mamu ayeshi. Mijidi pass enye battery. Eye cash flow. L'argent no dey. Eye no krese ye nyina ye fa emra emu odimu. Ye nyina ye pekwan ya ye betumi ama ye financial burdens mo aye ha. Baby anyoye. Nenso emane how. Na emwa kakra e free with Trusted Bank Societe General Ghana nti. Bribia be ye fine. Societe General Ghana e ma ne customers nyina ani age e fa ya tisu loans promotion ye ho. Chese SG Ghana customers any omo a empo omo nye customers. Omo wo controller and accountant general payroll no so no. Ebetumi anya enije any akwanya sronko eye discounted loans. Ensemre kra je wo loan ene ko branch bia mu anase fre 0302214314. Nema bibia mfiti ase enkoso. Enhihye kakra wo ho. Kai say promotion yi ekokosi 7th August 2023. Societe General Ghana. The future is you. Just be happy. Don't you worry.
How are you, Kofi? And how are you getting on? Have you been taking your HIV medication? I mean, the antiretroviral medicines.
Media, my bro, my bre. Every day, I have to take this medicine. Why?
Oh, Kofi, but you know that your antiretroviral medicines have to be taken every day to be effective.
Why does it have to be so?
Oh, Kofi, you know by taking your antiretroviral medicines every day, it stops the virus from replicating and allows the immune system to repair itself and prevent further damage. This way, you can live a long, healthy life.
Do you think not taking the antiretroviral medicine is the reason why I feel weak and feverish? Could it be the reason why I have recurring diarrhea too?
So would you rather feel sick instead of just taking the antiretroviral medicines daily and feel healthy? You know the daily dose helps to suppress the virus so that in about 6 months, the virus becomes undetectable. This means that the virus in your blood is sufficiently suppressed. It also means that you cannot transmit the virus to others. If your viral load continues to remain undetectable, then it is equal to being untransmittable. That is what we mean by U equals U.
I think I owe it to myself to take my antiretroviral drug religiously.
Great! That is what I was hoping to hear. You must take your antiretroviral medicine consistently to get your viral load suppressed, to make it undetectable and untransmittable.
Yes, undetectable equals untransmittable.
U equals U.
This message is brought to you by Ghana AIDS Commission.
No matter your water needs, Sintex has it all. Sintex tank was first to introduce double layer tank, and now you can have as many layers as you want. Sintex tank was first to introduce white inner layer tanks in Ghana, and now introduces the customer specs order, which will let you order any color and size you want. Sintex tanks gives you the biggest warranty of 7 years, which no other tank gives you. So whatever your water consumption, size of project, or demand, choose Sintex tank. Sintex tank, stress-free. Sintex tank, reliable. Sintex tank, maximum guarantee. Call 0244-335-168, Kumasi 0505-555-666, or visit syntexgh.com. Sintex tank, strong, tough.
When shopping for a dress, you say,
of course, the low burst line, a little tight by the hips, covered sleeves, off shoulder, definitely.
But when buying anti-malarial drug, you say,
is it not malaria? Give me whatever is available.
Choose your malaria drugs the same way you choose your dress. Always ask for Coartem. It's also available in cherry-flavored dispersible tablets for children. Don't gamble with malaria. Choose right. Choose Coartem. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Malaria testing should be done before treatment. This advert is FDA approved.
right, so you're still tuned to Love 99.5. It's some 25 minutes to 8 o'clock. Waterfalls in the background. Of course, it's music from TLC. And if you say TLC, Leo will say, tender love and care. Huh? All right, so to our main conversation for today, and it has to do with medical malpractice or medical negligence. Many people have been maimed, others disfigured, or maybe even lost their lives, all in the name of medical negligence. Now, unfortunately, many people don't even know what to do when the issue of medical negligence occurs. They either let go or they try to settle it out of court, leaving them many a time shortchanged because they don't really get what they deserve. So what is informing our conversation this morning has to do with a 10-day-old. He was only 10 days old, and he's a boy. Now, so this 10-day-old boy was taken to a facility for circumcision. As Christians, you would want to have circumcision done when you have a baby boy. Unfortunately, it's alleged that during the process, some things didn't go well, and this 10-day-old boy has lost his life. Very unfortunate, isn't it? In this day and age, 2023, circumcision could cause somebody to lose his life. So what do you make of healthcare delivery by our health professionals in Ghana? So the nurses, the lab guys, the doctors, put together the health professionals in Ghana. What do you make of their work? How serious are they? How good are they? How well are they doing out there? And when it comes to medical malpractice or medical negligence, what do you think is the best way to resolve a problem or to fix a problem when it emanates or when it comes up? What are your thoughts? What are your suggestions as to how we should handle it? What do you think is the best way to handle it that will create the enabling environment for them to do better? So we have a WhatsApp number. Record a voice message, record a voice note and send it into 055 1111995. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this as to what you think we ought to do when medical negligence occurs. Once again, our WhatsApp number is 055 1111995. Now, we are on Facebook as I speak. And so you can join us on LUV 99.5 FM on Facebook and drop comments there. Leo Stanley will be watching that space and will be sharing comments that you drop there on Facebook. But with me in the studios of Love 99.5, I have Mr. Kwame Brobbey Appiah. He's Executive Secretary, Advocacy for Medical Malpractice Victims. And he's right here with me in the studios of Love 99.5 to have this conversation with. Kwame, good morning to you.
Good morning, David.
Trust you're well.
By God's grace, all is well.
All right, so for the benefit of those who may not understand what medical malpractice or medical, negligence is, take a few minutes and tell us what it is about, and then tell us how we're doing when it comes to medical negligence in Ghana. What the statistics looks like in Ghana, especially in Kumasi.
Well, so in simple terms, when we talk about medical malpractice, we basically referring to the actions or inactions of a healthcare professional that leads to an injury or death to the patient. That in simple terms. So when the health professional fails to follow the protocols with which they offer their services, and that failure leads to an injury or to a death of the patient, then we say that has occurred. In terms of statistics, we really don't have any survey conducted, so to speak. But then, on top of my head, because of what we do, I can only say that it's quite prevalent. But then I can't have any empirical evidence because I don't know of any scientific study that has been done.
Okay, so let me rephrase that question.
Space, yeah.
Your office, for example, that is championing this, that is helping people who unfortunately might have gone for some health, care and have become disfigured, maimed, or lost. There's a family member who's lost a life and all that. If you look at your office, how many cases would you say, for example, you have in a day or a week or a month?
Well, so in terms of number of cases that will pass through the office, on a daily basis, we can talk about, hearing of 10 stories, 10. Yeah.
Daily?
Yes, in the minimum, because we work across the country, so we have calls coming in from all angles. But then the point is, for us to be able to establish a prima facie case, to really determine whether or not medical malpractice has actually occurred. Because it's quite a complicated matter. You just don't sit down and then place liability on people. You need to conduct a lot of painstaking investigations to really unravel the actual cause of whatever the person might have suffered from. And most of the times, because of lack of knowledge in this space or in this area of healthcare provision, the information that the patients give might not be that accurate to enable you even follow up and then make a determination. And again, if you are even able to get the accurate information, the hospitals or the facilities would also be running away. Not ready to also collaborate with whatever or corroborate the story.
Why?
Well, everybody wants to run away from liability if they think something has gone untoward, and so that's one of the problems, because you can't really get people coming out to admit that we are in the wrong, and for that matter, we want to make amends and then ensure that there's peace or
and I'm sure
a way for the patient to get some sort of compensation.
I'm sure I would even be right in saying that because we as patients who go to some of these medical facilities don't even know what constitutes medical negligence. Sometimes the facilities might have done something wrong, but we don't even know about it. We don't know about our rights and what is available for us, so we just let it slide.
That is mostly what happens, but I think you can't also blame the patient that much because of our cultural settings, how we are brought up. Ghanaians naturally are people who fear a lot. Coming out to even speak against what has happened is a problem. There have been instances where people have brought out issues, that they suspect to have been occasioned as a result of medical negligence or medical malpractice. And then somebody else will come and say, oh, so once that issue comes in, then you realize that you are really in for a loss, because obviously the person that you want to work for is not prepared to go that length.
But if you have cases like 10 or more in a day,
well, so
people, what does that say of our health professionals then?
Well, David, it's not a matter of the health professional per se. It's a combination of so many different factors. One is the system itself, because like I keep saying every day, I don't believe any health professional will wake up in the morning and then determine to say go to the hospital to kill people. The system is problematic. Lack of enforcement, no regulations, lack of equipment to work with, logistics, a whole lot of issues come to play, aside the actions or inactions of the practitioner or whoever is in charge.
But is that to suggest that the people who are supposed to regulate, monitor, sanction when wrongs are done are not doing their job?
David, we all know this. I wouldn't say they are not doing their job, but what they are doing is not satisfactory enough.
I see. So having said that, again, when it comes to healthcare delivery, human as we are, we cannot always be right. We might sometimes get it wrong. So based on medical malpractice or medical negligence and what we're witnessing out there, are we therefore suggesting that human as they are, as doctors, as nurses and all that, they cannot make mistakes?
No, as human as they are bound to make mistakes. That's why I said in my introduction that errors are permissible in healthcare provision. But to the extent that it causes an injury or death, at that level, then you can really say that a person has been reckless, because there are a lot of measures that can be put in place along the line to avert the happening of certain situations. So then, if all those things fail, then it means that people will tell you that they have reckless disregard for human life. They actually did not put in the necessary effort to ensure that people don't get to those stages. So errors are permissible, and they happen every day. How can you cite somebody for medical malpractice, for example, when an nurse pricks you with a needle? You can't say the person has been negligent. Certain things happen. David, the point is
so for example, you go ahead with the point.
What it is that normally, from experience, it's not even about the injury per se, but the aftermath.
Okay.
How they are being handled by the hospital.
So we'll talk about the aftermath then. And let me welcome Ohime Interior, who is also with us. He's an assistant news editor with the Multimedia Group. Ohime, good morning.
Good morning, David.
All right, so let me throw in this question, for example. You talk about, there's room for error. So I go to the hospital. I'm supposed to run some labs. The lab guy either makes a mistake or swaps samples. Or the nurse on duty, you have a folder that is by the side of the bed that the doctor who comes on some rounds would have to check and get to know what the prescription is, whether they are going right and all that. And then for whatever reason, there's some mistake in there as well. Is that an error, or that is a malpractice or a negligence?
So the mistake itself is not anything to do with malpractice, but the effect of the mistake. How did that mistake contribute to the injury of the patient? How did that mistake contribute to the death of the patient? And that's why I said that mistakes can happen, but if it doesn't lead to any form of injury or death, you cannot make any claim. So, for example, what if they realized later that they made a mistake and they came back to rectify it? Or probably they put in certain interventions to avert the unexpected event.
So if I understand you, there should be an injury or a death before we can say...
To make a claim in malpractice, it has to get to that level. Apart from that, for example, you go to the hospital and you say you've been misdiagnosed. Misdiagnosis in itself cannot pass for medical malpractice. But the question is, what is the alternative? What was the differential? What should a doctor have looked at that he failed to do? For which reason you have suffered whatever fate you find yourself in.
But again, 10 cases a day or more. That is big, isn't it?
So most of the cases too you can't substantiate because the facts will not be readily available.
Because we didn't know what we as patients were supposed to look for.
Exactly the point.
And what we need to put together.
Exactly the point. And it's because of lack of understanding in these kind of things that happens at the hospital. Because if you go back, you realize that the Ghana Health Service itself has put out a patient charter that is supposed to guide patients when they access healthcare and also put in some protocols with which healthcare professionals should, offer these services. A lot of people don't know about it, so when they go to the hospital, they are not able to, insist on their rights. But every right obviously comes with a responsibility.
Yeah.
So the patients also have a responsibility to ensure that they play their roles to maximize whatever they are looking for at the hospital.
I know that you chase a lot of stories, and one story I know you're chasing has to do with some alleged medical malpractice or medical negligence. What can you share with us in relation to that story?
Yes, David, this is a story about a 10-day-old baby.
10-day-old baby?
Yes, the baby was sent to the KNUST hospital. Yes. And for me, I've been trying to understand the number of minutes or hours spent at the facility, and also what procedure, the time that it takes to do a procedure of that nature.
What procedure was it?
Yes, the baby was sent to the hospital for male circumcision.
Okay.
Yes. From the parents, the baby was healthy. He even ate at home. Actually, a male child, so he ate at home. They go to the facility, a nurse came, assessed the baby, and she said the baby was okay. So it was ready for the procedure. Then they sent the baby into the theater, allowed the parents. You see, the story is a bit different. For me, when you see a man or the father and the mother going to the hospital together for a male circumcision. So it happened in front of the parents, not only the mother or the father, but the two of them were there. So the nurse takes the baby to the theater, and then the parents hear this wild cry of the baby for the very last time.
Whoa.
Then in few seconds, you see people rushing out of the theater, and then calls were placed, and you see senior nurses, in a hurry going to the theater, and then later you also see medical doctors also joining in that regard, in attempt, perhaps not knowing what was happening. So the long and short of this story is that the baby that was sent to the facility in the morning for a male circumcision, very healthy, left the facility dead.
They don't leave the facility at all, They don't
no.
leave. And 10 days. I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
But 10 days. And what is with circumcision? We have these Wanzams people who do it all the time, maybe under unhygienic circumstances. So what is with this procedure that will cause the death of a 10-day-old? What have you gathered on that?
So David,
I don't get it.
What I have gathered, a lot went on from information very close to the facility, is that the baby, in the process of the male circumcision, had a cardiac arrest, and efforts were made to resuscitate the baby. Unfortunately, all these efforts couldn't, save the baby. So at the end of the day, the parents were told that yes, your baby is not doing well. Few questions were asked, and you can imagine the trauma the parents went through, especially waiting or sitting at the waiting area of the theater, knowing very well that my baby has been sent to the theater. And when I spoke to the mother and then the father, you could see the kind of pain that they have been through. It's not easy, and unfortunately they haven't had any psychotherapy support from anywhere.
Wow.
So they are the ones going through the problems themselves. They are facing it themselves, and nobody is supporting them. And so whilst waiting, Then they were told that your baby appears to have lost consciousness. The heart is not working, so they brought in an ambulance. All these while the parents were there at the waiting room, waiting for the baby to come out so they can take care. They even asked them to go for a medical card so they can admit the baby and then take care of the baby. And later on, when all these efforts failed, the result that came was that the baby has passed on. So yes, I said the baby left the facility dead because still the family had the body.
No, I understand.
They still had the body.
But so how long ago did this happen?
Oh, not long ago. The incident happened on the 3rd of April, 2023. And since then, there has been some efforts by the hospital. When I say efforts, I still call it efforts because first, they had a meeting with the parents and then a promise to get back to them. As we speak, I don't know whether they'll get back or they are yet to get back to.
So this happened in April.
Parents.
And simply put, a 10-day-old child was taken to a facility for circumcision, male circumcision. And like you said, the child left the hospital dead. Kwame, are you privy to this? What do you also know about it?
Yes, David. I'm privy to it. I don't know where to start from. It's unfortunate, but it's happened already. So I think the facts as Ohima has outlined. And so for me, the issue was brought to our organization, and then
by the parents.
Yes, by the parents.
Okay.
Yes, so we picked it up. We wrote to the university. We wanted to have an understanding. Obviously, the basic thing is to hear the other side. You can't just listen to one side and draw a conclusion. So our mission was to find out from the hospital actually what happened, so that we're able to put things together. So they granted us audience. We went into a meeting with them, trying to see how we could iron out things. Our conviction was that the hospital has been negligent, and we could say that emphatically, even though it's only a court of competent jurisdiction that will place liability in such a matter. But from what we do on the face of the facts available, we could actually say that something untoward had gone on. And so at that meeting, when we had the conversation, the conclusion was that we're going to hear from them. With respect to, because we had placed on record that we are asking for compensation for the parents, but then we have not heard from the university again. So I think we would also take up the matter and then decide on the next action.
But they have not attached seriousness. Let me come back to you with this one. If this thing happened on the 13th of April, like 3rd April,
yes.
Not 13th, 3rd April.
3rd April.
And they have not, come out to engage, to bring finality to this. It beats my mind. Do you know why they have not gotten back,
Yes, sir, David, as a journalist, when you hear a story of this nature, what you do is to go extra mile to speak to all the parties involved. I have done that on my part. I've been to the KNUST hospital, met some officials, and the response is that no, as a university institution, we are not allowed to speak to the media. So if you want any response, then either you go to the URO or you go to the Vice Chancellor's office for a response. I did same. I had a meeting with URO, and then the arrangement was that the university would get back to me just yesterday. And yesterday, luckily enough, they didn't get back to me, so I had to go back to them. So I was there present. I was present on campus, and it didn't happen. I came back and then still had the opportunity to speak to an official, and the response is that the university lawyers are dealing with the matter, hoping that they will meet the parents and then also resolve the issue with them. For me, having followed some of these stories before, the indication is that it appears the university don't see this as a pressing issue. It's not one of their priorities. So they wouldn't want to spend so much time. It's like, you are a journalist, so why are you even so interested in this story?
I was just spending your time to chase something, but wasting your time with the way.
Why are you so interested in the story when those involved don't see it as an issue? But David, this is human life is involved.
Indeed.
And if you have seen it before, the trauma that the parents have gone through.
So they talk about what? A cardio arrest. That's what you usually said.
Cardiac arrest.
Cardiac arrest, and the person went into coma. The baby went into coma and all that. Has there been a pathologist report, a post-mortem of a sort, to buttress that?
Unfortunately, my engagements with the hospital authorities and that of the university, it doesn't seem to suggest that they are even interested in autopsy. I've been reporting on health for so many years, and I know the nitty-gritty of some of these issues. When the patient dies at a facility in less than 24 hours, the rule is that there should be a sort of autopsy to confirm and also ascertain the cause of death. It's mandatory, but in all this, it has not happened. And speaking to some of the sources, the information I picked is that it was the parents who declined the autopsy. But the parents also say, no, we haven't declined any autopsy. So it's just that something is not happening right.
Something is not adding up somewhere.
It's not adding up, because if I have lost my child, a child that I walk into a facility
with, healthy child, a bouncing baby boy who could play. At the time they went to the facility, they said the baby was even playing. The father was playing with the baby before the nurses came and then took charge of the baby. Now you come back to tell me your baby is gone. Instead of following some of these procedures, it has not been happening. Well, listeners, in case you just turned on your radio and just tuned into Love 99.5, well, this is Love in the Morning. It's on Love 99.5, and our conversation has to do with medical negligence or medical malpractice in Ghana. Now, the case study, or what has informed this conversation this morning, has to do with a 10-day-old baby, who was taken to a health facility here in Kumasi, for normal male circumcision to be done. The baby died. And when the baby was taken to the facility, we were told that a nurse checked on the baby, said, well, the baby is healthy and that the procedure can be done. Only for the baby to be taken to the theater, they heard a shrill cry of a baby, and then they said the baby had a cardiac arrest, went into coma, blah, blah. Bottom line, the baby is dead. 10-day-old baby is dead for a simple procedure as, circumcision. I say simple because we have the Wanzam people all around. Unhygienically, they are performing such procedures, and children are alive. So what will happen to a baby, 10-day-old baby, in a big facility with well-trained doctors or professionals to lead to the child's death? And what breaks my heart is that, like Ohimi was narrating, although Kwame Appiah and his advocacy for against some of these things, medical malpractices have gone in, there's nothing like seriousness, there's nothing like speed in resolving this issue. And so I ask again, when it comes to medical malpractice in Ghana, what do you think is the best way to resolve it? But Ohimi, you have engaged with the regional health director before, Tinkrang, who himself is concerned about the attitude and behavior of some of these health professionals. Can you share that with us?
Yes, Dr. Tinkrang is unhappy, and Health Minister Kokwaji Memenu himself is also unhappy. He talked about the fact that some years ago, medical malpractices were not, even though they were happening, the patients were not all that aware of their rights. Now, patients are becoming more sophisticated, knowing their rights, and they are the ones taking up the bold step to go to the courts, sue medical facilities, health facilities, sue health professionals, and then the ministry as well. So he, as a minister, is very, very, very much concerned. This one, an issue that he talked about at the senior managers meeting of the Ghana Health Service.
Let's take a listen to the health minister, Kwame Brobbey Appiah, when he spoke at that meeting.
What I'm seeing of late in the ministry are issues of litigation. For the past 4 weeks or so, almost every week, we get at least one letter from the Attorney General's office. Somebody has sued somebody with problems with care, service delivery, and they want us to come with information for them to go to court with. Then we'll refer to Director General Kwame Brobbey Appiah. But I've been with you for the past 6 years. Earlier when I came in, those things were not happening that much. But now it's become something, it's just climbing, it's becoming very common. So what is it? Deliberate efforts to try to go to court, get somebody to take us to court, or we have forgotten what we were trained to do in a more efficient manner? Negligence, or what is happening? But since you are senior managers of the care side of what we do in health.
So that was the voice of Kwame Menu speaking about, the medical negligence or malpractices that take place in Ghana. And like I was saying a while ago, Tinkra himself, the regional health director, has spoken about it. He says before, people took their work seriously as health professionals. And if you listen carefully to Hemi Tavia, if you listen carefully to Kwame Appiah here, it seems as if the health workers or even the staff of the KWC hospital don't care. They simply don't care. Because if somebody has lost a child, and as management, you care about what has happened, you attach speed and seriousness to bringing finality to this. This happens on the 3rd of April. Today is the 18th of July. Sad indeed, isn't it? So, Kwame, you are the person who champions some of these things. What's the process like? What's the procedure like if something like this comes up? If you don't mind, let's use this case study, this 10-day-old baby. What do we need to be doing?
Well, so you were talking about the hospital not showing or attaching any sort of seriousness to the matter.
Yeah.
It depends on their position. It might be the case that they probably think they've not done anything wrong.
Yeah.
So if they have not done anything wrong, they wouldn't see the need for them to even show that level of empathy to the parents and also to show some sort of concern. Because most of the people that come to us tells us that, look, if the hospital had even come back to us to say we are sorry, we didn't do the right thing, please forgive us, we will ensure that we learn from this mistake and will not repeat it to another patient, they would have even given up because they know that we are human beings and then to err is human.
But what you said, that the facility might think, and in this case KNUSA might think that they have not erred and so therefore are not attaching seriousness to it. Even if you think you have not erred, put some seriousness to it. Let's bring finality to it so at least you are exonerated from this.
And apart from the exoneration, it helps in institutional reforms.
Exactly.
Because you see, the person at the top there, the director of health services, might not necessarily be the one on the field doing these kind of things. Now let us even interrogate the matter as it happened, allegedly, from the story we have from the parents. Number one, who was the person that did the circumcision? Was the person a qualified professional? What level of expertise or experience does the person have? What happened during the process? From my little experience, I am suspecting that they might have tried administering general anesthesia. With these processes, sometimes they'll give you local anesthesia to numb the place so that you don't really feel the pain. But to the extent that the patient, the child actually suffered a cardiac arrest.
And screamed.
Yes. And I have a picture of the baby. You could really see that during the CPR, they wrapped the chest to the extent that the chest is really very reddish.
Okay.
Meaning that the possibility that they actually administer general anesthesia to the patient was high.
But what is
that the case?
What is with circumcision? That parents cannot witness the circumcision being done? Because even this time, when there's CS being done, if somebody goes to hospital and cesarean is going to be done, the father is there. The husband is there.
Yeah, David.
So what is with circumcision?
let's even don't worry ourselves so much about that particular the presence of the parents.
But
granted that they were not even allowed in, it does not still give them that audacity to
let's do this.
Handle the process.
Looking at the case on hand right now and what is happening, what is the way forward?
Well, the way forward is to take the next alternative, which is to take legal action against the facility and then seek redress in court. Because if they are not minded to solve the problem, that's the option available to our organization and the parents.
Now I can see the picture of the baby. Very fine baby, 10-day-old. And that's a chest thing you're talking about. Are we permitted to show this on Facebook?
I don't think, no.
But what I can describe to you is this. So
we are not permitted.
Fine. So what I can at least can I speak to? Can I try to describe it? So there's this 10-day-old baby, bare-chested, fair-colored baby, and at the right side of the baby's chest, just
under
the right breast,
yes,
just under the right breast. That is where you can see some bruises. Let me put it that way, bruises, and it's all because, like Kwame Appiah is saying, they're trying to give anesthesia, CPR to CPR to the child. Going forward, I mean, Kwame, what do you think we can do to ensure that these things, do not happen, or we minimize them to the barest minimum?
Well, I think to start with, we need to sanitize the system. That is key. We need to sanitize the system, and then ensure that there's proper regulation. Because I mean, at this day and age, who dies from circumcision?
I don't get it.
It's avoidable. I mean, it should have happened. It tells you the level of weak supervision at the facility. Because if there was any stronger form of supervision, David, we wouldn't have been talking about this matter here. Simply because whoever is in charge would have owned this problem and decided to solve it, to bring an amicable solution to the problem. We wouldn't be on air discussing this matter. But I mean, for me, it is good because it also becomes an eye-opener for other people, for them to also have the courage to talk about some of these matters.
If somebody can die as a result of circumcision, Keke, what then happens if somebody goes to that same facility for hernia? Or for no, I'm serious also for hernia operation, or for CS or what circumcision, Keke. 10 day old. It's not 10 days. The child was 10 days old.
But I think yes, I could feel how David is becoming emotional, and that is how it is. The story is pathetic. If you listen to the story, if you meet the parents, if you see the live pictures and live videos of the baby,
you just showed me some.
On the day they went to the facility and how it all happened, it played out afterwards. What comes into mind is this is human life.
Yeah,
human life is involved.
Yeah,
and this could be me, it could be you to tomorrow. Yeah. So I want the facility to own up and say that yes, this is what happened. So let's meet the parents, discuss with them.
But Charlie, Ohemi, have you tried to reach your health minister on this? You are very good friends with Dr. Tinkran. Have you tried to reach Dr. Tinkran on this?
I haven't, because this is a KNUST hospital.
Yeah,
under the university. So it has its own rules and regulations. So first you must go through the protocols. So I've followed the protocol. I've been to the facility, spoken to top managers, and then been to the university as well, trying to get a response from them. And so I think now, as Kwame suggested, I'm not a lawyer. My work as a journalist is to follow up on this issue.
And on such stories, yeah.
On such stories. So we are able to prevent future occurrences. So we are promising our audience that this is not only going to be an audio story. It will be on Joy News TV, Adum TV, and all the multimedia platforms, so they can have a feel of it.
The child, this 10-day-old baby boy, cannot be brought back to life. But under such circumstances, we talk about compensation. What exactly would the parents, for example, get? It's not going to bring the child back. But what are they looking for?
Yeah, that is true.
Let me start off with Ohemi, please.
Yes, when I spoke to the parents, they are not looking at anything big. They want even just a meeting with the hospital management to say that we are sorry for what happened.
That's what they're looking for.
And beyond the sorry, if there's anything that they say can be, let's say, a monumental thing to say that yes, we lost our baby. Unfortunately, the baby is Faraj. We lost Faraj. So this is what happened after we lost Faraj. And this is what we can say, okay, we have this to at least in memory of Faraj. So that's what they are looking at.
Kwame.
Yes, David.
That's what they are looking for. What are you looking for? Somebody who's championing this for them.
Well, for me, I think the essence of asking for compensation, apart from, relieving some of the pain the parents might have gone through, the cost incurred in terms of, you can't quantify what they are suffering from.
Yeah.
But then it always goes to serve as a deterrent to the facilities. To be sure that, for example, if you are sued and you are asked to pay that huge sum of money to whoever, I'm sure next time you'll be cautious in your dealings with people. You would ensure that the right things are done at the facility so that you don't get yourself into that state again. So like you rightly said, it wouldn't bring the life of the child back, but it will let the facility set up and know that they can't just go scot-free.
If you're a medical director, if you're a medical director at any health facility, you have a job, a big role to ensure that people who come to seek for medical attention or healthcare get it, and that you don't worsen their situation. That is why you have a team working under you, with you, for you. So if you're a medical director, some of these things are happening, and you don't even show any kind of empathy, you don't show any kind of seriousness. Flip the coin. If it were your child, flip the coin. If it was your relation's child, and has happened at a different facility, would you behave the way you are behaving right now? You said you're young, and you'll be there and found. Well, like Ohimini says, it's going to be on television. Joy News, Joy Prime, Adom TV is going to be online. If that is what is going to push people to sit up and do the right things, then that's what it's going to take then. Because little Farage had his whole life ahead of him. A mere circumcision has taken away his life. Listeners, call us on 03220 83596, 03220 83597, 03220 83598. We're talking about medical negligence in Ghana. We're talking about medical malpractice in Ghana. What do you make of this little boy's story, Farage? Going forward, what do you think ought to be done so that at least we do better when it comes to seeking healthcare from our health professionals? What is your preferred, color of tank? For your information, Syntex has it. What guarantee do you want? Well, again, Syntex has it. What kind of inner layer do you want? If we're talking about double, triple, quadruple, as many inner layers as you want, Syntex has it. So remember, no matter your water needs, Syntex has it. Now, Syntex tank, a strong, a tough. Now, they have over 300 agents nationwide. Now, to order a tank, all you need to do is to call 0244 335 That is 335-168. You can visit Syntex on social media at Syntex Ghana, or you can shop online on www.syntexgh.com. Syntex tank, a strong, a tough. Let's visit our phone lines now and speak to Ken. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, David.
Let's say you can very quickly.
David, you know something? It baffled me when sometimes we compare ourselves to the Western country, because this thing will never happen out there. This is not the first time, and then this will not be the last time, because it is happening. My man there is sitting, talking, and then saying a whole lot of things that we can do. But when you approach them, when you tell them your concern, my dad, the same thing happened to him at Tech Hospital. And then we just push on for some few, I will call it days. Because the rest of the day, they were not even minding us. They won't even look at you. David, you see, it all bounds to the fact that we are training people who are not ready for that career or that job opportunity. I asked a first-year nurse student at Konfuanochi the meaning of DNA, and David, she couldn't tell me. You see, it is so bad, and it is happening. It will not end until something is done.
We should find a place where it could end. Thank you very much, Ken, for joining us. We should find a place where it could end. How many lives should be lost before we sit up and do the right things at the health facilities? Peter, good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
Peter, how are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm well, Peter, only disturbed and worried. Let's hear you, Peter.
David, myself, I'm a health worker. And the problem with Ghana health system, and most of if we don't solve it, there's no way that we are going to experience the best of care. The problem is, this thing that we have in the country that when someone does not qualify for a thing, you have to know somebody, and that person will connect you. That is number one. And number two, there are people that when they leave school, that is the secondary school, they were not in.
Hello. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Oh boy, I think we lost Peter on the line. Sorry about that, Peter. Please call us back, Peter.
Yeah.
But we have a new caller on the line. Hi, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name, please?
My name is Daniel.
All right, so Daniel, welcome. Peter, please call us back. Unfortunately, we lost you. Apologies to you, Peter. Daniel, please go ahead.
Okay, so David, I'm so sad this morning hearing this news. one thing I've observed is that the quality of our nurses that are coming out these days is very questionable. You visit a facility and you see a nurse wearing a long nail and working, which is just against the rule. And this same facility we are talking about, I am a pastor. My senior brother, his son, also they had issues with him. They nearly got him blinded. And then one of my church members also went to give birth there, and the baby died. So I don't know. I think this issue should be investigated further, and all other cases should come up so that this Care University Hospital would sit up and do the right things. Thank you.
So now you see, a case comes before you. You are putting a lukewarm attitude to solving it. Now people are telling you on radio, live radio this morning, what they, family members and friends, have gone through at the same Care University Hospital, one facility. So right now, if I sit here right now, if I fall sick and somebody says, "Oh, let's rush him to a hospital," and I hear Care University, Godwin, good morning. Thank you, Daniel,
good morning, David. Another sorrowful day. It is very unfortunate. David, the problem is respect for the people that we are providing service for. And when you get to hospital and people think that they are doing you favor, and as if all that you are doing, they are doing for you, you not even pay a dime, and it's just free. That is the unfortunate thing that happens. What I think should be happening, we should be ready to sanction people when they make mistakes. Health practitioners, the associations, the nurses, the doctors, they should stop shielding their people when they do bad things, when they kill, when they make mistakes for people to go blind, people to lose parts of their bodies. They should stop that attitude. And we should also make sure that we check them to do the right thing. I thank Ohimi again. Ohimi have always been a marvelous person. I've met him so many occasions. And that attitude and his style of working, I would have wished by now he would have won the Best Journalist Award, but I don't know why I'm not hearing his name on it. He's been doing marvelous work for all these years that I've known him. And thank God for his life, and I thank him very much for bringing this on board.
Thank you very much. Although he has not won any big award, he's won a couple of awards. Internally, we award him, don't worry. Internally, we give him awards. George, good morning.
Good morning, David.
Welcome, George.
You asked a question, Michelle, whether how prevalent or what is the scale. They said they haven't done any, but they can't give an exact numbers. But I think that from my experience, it's very prevalent, very, very, very frequent. Because see, I don't work in the Ashanti region, but I work outside, somewhere around the Western North region. Right, my wife reported that my kid was not too well, so she took her to the hospital. Got admitted. So I was hoping that by the time I dive back, they should be better. Came the following day, I got to my city in the afternoon and I visited the facility. And when I got there, seriously, the girl's condition was worse, and my wife was very panicking and that kind of stuff. And then, I moved to call the daughter to come. What's happened? And then, that thing that they do that they admit the patient, the daughter will come the following day, and so he has to go around before, And then when the doctor came in my presence, and she was like, "Oh, she's yet to come," and then to his own surprise, the medicine that was prescribed for the little girl was set up. They break it and then draw and then inject her, and that is supposed to be disposed, and then a different one. Yet the nurse kept that in the fridge for the whole 24 hours. To repeat, I was going to take it like in a day, repeating the same dose from the same bottle, which was supposed to be discarded immediately after the first draw. And for that particular, to be honest with you, he did not hide his disappointment and implemented the nurse, in the presence of myself and my wife. Now what is happening? What did you do? And so for 24 hours, no other daughter has come to see the little girl.
Who's the little girl? Did the little girl survive? Is the little girl okay?
Honestly speaking, and then I think when that happened, he was very apologetic and he took it upon himself, and then they did the necessary remedy. And immediately before the next midnight, the girl was, stabilized, and then she was fine.
We thank God for her life. We thank God for her life. Josh, thanks for joining us. And Daniel and Peter, sorry, we lost you guys. No, Daniel, you spoke throughout, but Peter, we lost you. Nana Kweku is on the line. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well.
Yeah, I will ask simple questions. Where at what facility did the wife give birth to this baby? Is it the same hospital?
About that.
Okay, the reason I'm asking this question is that you see, probably the child might have some hidden illness when he or she was given. This is the boy when he was born. So, going to the facility to have this circumcision might have brought those hidden illness or disease into life, whereby they have to inject the baby to numb that thing. They have to numb it. So probably they might have given overdose that would have brought this thing that they had to do the testing to resuscitate the baby. I'm not holding brief for the hospital, but please, doctors, when we come, select your thing though. Just as you go to a mechanic to do your car, he's an expert there, and you are an expert. Treat us with respect. And then even if there might be some hidden illness, at least meet the parents, discuss with the parents. Probably at the child, because I was asking this question because probably the baby might have this cardiac thing at best. Who knows? No one knows. But you, the health professionals, should enlighten the parents and at least meet them. Rather than me coming to radio and then they say they're going abroad.
But Nana Kweku, thank you very much. But I'm sure you also heard of him who said they did all the necessary tests. And they cleared the child and said the child was okay and healthy for a simple circumcision. Shadrach is our final caller. Shadrach, good morning and welcome. Shadrach.
Yeah, hello, Dave. Good morning. Hello, good morning, Dave.
Yes, I'm well, sir. Let's hear you, Shadrach.
Yeah. So what I have noticed, the little observation I've made is some of these medical facilities, when some of these incidents happen, the doctors or the people around, since they know the person who came there is ordinary person and knows nothing or doesn't know much about the things that happen, they will find a way of nicely covering up whatever happened by sometimes giving or coming out with some medical terms to say those are the things that really happened. Meanwhile, for all you know, it is out of their own negligence or something wrong they did, which has caused the death or that misfortune. But then they will find a way to nicely cover up. So if you are not somebody who is a little enlightened or somebody who is serious, have a little education, and you ask for postmortem or that thing to be done, everything will die at the hospital there. So it's about time people become conscious of their health. When you go to hospital and some of this misfortune happens, if you are not even the type who can follow it, find somebody who will be in a position to do the necessary follow-up for the postmortem or other thing to come out for the real thing that brought about the misfortune to be known. They do it and they find a nice way of covering up, and they keep the case there at the facility. So that's, I think, what I've observed has been happening in our system lately.
Thank you very much, and we can't pick any more calls, but we have a message on WhatsApp, a couple of them actually, but this one touches the heart of Leo Stanley so much he wants to share it with you.
Hello David, good morning. In fact, I'm touched by what you are discussing, and I want to share a little bit of my experience. I don't want to disclose my identity, but I worked in the theater for more than 10 years. And cases like this, when it's brought on board, I don't know whether to blame the medical team or the parents. You see, somebody coming for surgery, this is a type of surgery you should not eat. And you are saying that the person who is giving the narration said that the child was fed in the morning. So this child probably might have aspirated from the food, whether breast milk or anything. I've come across one of such case before where we lost the baby because the parents did not tell the medical team that the child had been fed. Meanwhile, they were giving prior information that don't feed the child. So please, I think this one we should investigate much into it to know if the parents were giving the instructions, they obeyed or did not obey. Because if you don't tell the medical team, if you tell the medical team that the child has eaten, there's another process that we can take the child in. We call it crash induction. So we can do a crash induction. Even if the person has eaten or it's an emergency, we'll have we'll give anesthesia, and then the person will not aspirate on the food that he or she has eaten.
All right, so I hear you on that. So let's say the parents of Faraj are lay people who do not know anything. You go to health facilities supposed to have professionals. So you have to interrogate me. Has the child eaten? Oh, for this procedure, the child should not eat before coming. Oh, ask me questions. Get the right information. Do the right tests, necessary tests. Before you even go ahead and say you're going to do that.
That's why before any surgery, they do what they call the anesthetic assessment. They'll take you through all that. They have parameters that they assess to know whether or not you are fit for the procedure. Yeah. If they feel that you have, gone against any of the parameters, they will simply have to ask you to go and come back on another day when you are fully prepared.
Or when you are coming, they can tell you, don't eat and come, don't do this and do this, do this and do that. That's what they tell you.
Exactly. So granted that, even the child ate at home before they brought the child.
10-day-old child, nobody.
I'm not any excuse. It's not an excuse because it is the duty of the professional. That is why they are dealing with professionals to assess and say that if the child has eaten, 10 day. So even if he ate anything, you still couldn't have said and until you are going ahead to do it.
David, good morning. I think I've tried calling on several occasions. It's not coming through. David, I had a similar experience at the KNUST hospital on the 7th of July 2018. David, it took the intervention of my nephew, who is a medical doctor but was outside Kumasi, to save my wife and my daughter. When I even went to the labor ward and I was telling the nurses there that my wife is due to deliver, they were sitting down chatting and they told me I should get out of the room because I'm not a nurse. And David, you see, the point is, these people, they do it with that impudence. They careless, and it's as if they are doing you a favor. I think KNUST Hospital should be investigated seriously. You see, because of the situation they put my wife through, my wife developed complications later after giving birth. And I wanted to sue the facility, but they took a friend doctor who told me for some reasons he's pleading with me to stop. And that he is going to help at least salvage the situation. You see, I think KNUST Hospital, that something ought to be done.
If for nothing at all, 3 or 4 callers or contributors to the show this morning have mentioned KNUST Hospital. 3 or 4 have mentioned KNUST this morning. So if you are running a facility and you don't take feedback, or you are running a facility and you don't put checks in place to ensure that you do better, this is what we get. Kwame, tell me, so with this very case, that of Faraj, how far do you intend to go with this?
Well, David, like I said earlier on, from the facts available, our organization believes strongly that the hospital has been negligent. So we'll take it to every extent to ensure that we get justice, for and on behalf of, the patients. And I mean what I've said.
Okay, thank you very much. Ohime, keep up with a good job, Keep up with a good job. One of the callers was saying that Gordon, I think, he has followed you for so long. And we all know what happened. So, I said teacher for your teacher was right. So thank you very much for him Interior for passing through. And like he said, he's not going to renege on this one. He's going to follow this to the its logical conclusion. Kwame Appiah have also said the same thing. So gentlemen, thanks very much for your time with us this morning. Coming up on the Super Morning Show this morning has to do with a conversation on the ruling by Shraj on the former PPA boss. On things that Manasseh was able to discover when he engaged with him. All right, so that's coming up. That's a conversation coming up on the Super Morning Show. But is your car experiencing electrical and mechanical problems? Do you want your air conditioners repaired, at the best price and quality? Well, Kumasi Auto Detail is here for you. Now, at Kumasi Auto Detail, our Ghanaian and international engineers are there to provide you with services such as general repairs, injection services, tire services, engine and gearbox management, vacuuming, AC, gas refilling and flashing, as well as computer diagnostics. Now, if your car parts are not available, listen, Kumasi Auto Detail can order from outside in a week. Also, you can relax at their reception and watch your car being fixed on the CCTV. The good news is they provide warranty after sales. Locate Kumasi Auto Detail opposite Unity Oil, Malcolm Road, Durban, next to NS Hybrid School. Send them a mail at Kumasi autodetail@yahoo.com, and you can call them on 0559717034 or 0257977433. And that's Kumasi Auto Detail for you. Now, the Institute of Distance Learning, KNUST, announces that application e-vouchers for admission into diploma, undergraduate and postgraduate programs through the distance learning model, or the MOOD, are now on sale. Diploma programs on offer include architectural technology, business administration, information technology, and many more. Undergraduate programs on offer include business administration with 7 options, quantity surveying and construction economics, construction technology and management, that is CTM, and many more. Now, the Institute of Distance Learning also has several postgraduate programs on offer in the following areas: education, sciences, and business. Now, you can use the short code *477*160# to buy the e-voucher for application. Applicants can purchase an online application e-voucher from GCB Bank, EcoBank, or Consolidated Bank and apply online. For further inquiries, you can visit idl.knusc.edu.gh, or you can call 0247-274-661 or 0500-482-885. You can also follow them on their various social media platforms, i.e. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn at IDL KNUST. KNUST IDL, providing flexible and quality education at your doorstep. Well, I'd like to say a big thank you one more time to Gazola Fashions for that amazing outfit. Gazola is one place where if you go to and you want something sewn for you, something for a wedding, for church, for a funeral, for a party, Gazola has you covered. Call Gazola on 0244-780-383. It is 0244-780-383. Gazola and the beautiful wife, good morning to you and thanks for everything. But for now, we're getting ready to cross over to Joy 99.7 for more conversations on radio. Please stay tuned.
Kumasi, the biggest event is about to happen. Millionaires Playground, Spend the Bag in Comerica. The date is the 22nd of July 2023, right inside the Void Nightclub, SG Moore, at the first floor. That's where the party is happening. We'll party with the Sekum Sikedi, the chat says it's Mega Jack. Chairman Ochimata Sabon Chair anymore. Oh, Kenneth YG with the Saka Boys coming through to make sure we'll let it up the party for you. Party starts at exactly 10 p.m. Yes, with DJ hashtag DJ Rooney, MC Alvin, MC Lifestyle. Rate is a cool sister cities for single and 100 Ghana cities for double. For table and ticket reservations, call us right away 054-585-4318 or 024-385-4242. Millionaires Playground, Charlie Bombas and the Antibaga Sabaya also seek us social media. So make sure you're coming through. We're partying so hard 22nd July, SG Moore, the Void Nightclub. Or say come Sikeni, okay, that's how we do it.
Hey Linda, long time oh. Yes so. Hey, but wait oh Linda, did you win the lottery? I mean, look at your room, your TV, your sound system, your fridge. Hey. Oh, they are nice all from Kennedy Digital Satellite. They also sell appliances like air conditioners, televisions, tabletop fridges and freezers from 100 to 900 liters, commercial fufu machines, home theaters, etc. Wow. In addition, government workers who receive their salary through the Controller and Accountant General's Department and still have their affordability package active can come to Kennedy Digital Satellite and get any appliance of their choice with flexible payment terms. You can locate Kennedy Digital Satellite in Accra at Waja, just at the old barrier traffic light, and in Kumasi at Edum near Boss FM and along the Patasi Main Street near the police depot. Those in Accra can call 0243-074-750 and in Kumasi reach them on 0207-653031.
Kennedy Digital Satellite, where quality sells cheap.
I've got Bell back and I won't let go.
My name is Nanama McBrown. Many people think I get what I want anytime because I am popular. No, that is not true. It is because me and Kasano, I like the best, and when I find it, I stick to it. I have found Bell Pack Tea Roll, and I'm stuck with it. It is soft but not weak, strong but not hard. It is just perfect. Bell Pack Tea Roll is smooth and gentle on the skin. Same as Bell Pack Kitchen Towel. It cleans in one wipe. You can soak, squeeze, and clean again. One Bell Pack kitchen towel lasts longer and saves you money. It's time you switch to Bell Pack today and experience the perfect paper tissue. Say pocket tissue, table napkins, tea roll, and a kitchen towel. Paper chow. Bell Pack is simply the best. Bell Pack, just perfect.
To be a Bell Pack distributor, call 055-11-44400. Another quality product from Bell Aqua.
Doesn't feel so good like Bell Pack.
Hey, welcome back to work.
Charlie, thanks, bro. Thanks, bro.
Malaria really knocked you down, eh?
Charlie, no joke. Hey, fever, headache, vomiting, loss of appetite. I couldn't even eat my usual fufu.
You and fufu?
How we go do it?
I hope you got tested before the malaria treatment.
Oh, yes, I did. And thanks to Malatu, I kicked out malaria one time.
Sharp. Anyway, sorry to ruin your excitement, but your boss asked of you.
Okay.
She says she has plenty work for you.
No problem, Charlie. Strength day.
You see,
When malaria strikes, take Malatu, containing Artemether and Lumefantrine. Comes in tablets and suspension for the effective treatment of malaria in adults and children. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Malatu is manufactured and distributed by Ernest Chemists Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Daffy's or human new. Daffy's or human feminine mischanty. A massa bosomene so Emma. Ye bui and sayente ya ubia. A san siesi man kasa. Daffy abusiana ekese. Intie dia manfo kafa enupa no ho. Daffy shower gel. Empo na mani. Ye wotuntum de. Ena kokko de. Wo di dware a ema natural look.
Mensu de misu Daffy's feminine cleanse and the capsules ne siesie me ho. Ema me nten carbon bia me gye me hu dia ankasa.
Daffy nupa no. Enwo dance e bebre. Daffy sana. Abama ye nyina.
Open the did with Duffy's Health and Beauty Ewo East Legon American House Kumasen so ye Bank Tech Hospital enye map him for
FDA aje edwedin krato yato.
1xBet jackpot is here with